Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt, and welcome back to Farlands or Bust. Woof indeed, episode 579 of the series. Right, Wolfie? For your Saturday, April. It's April, everybody. Your Saturday, April 2nd, 2016, as we grab Wolfie, toss out some cobblestone that we do not need. Our inventory is full and Wolfie is ready to go. Actually, let's use a... well, no, let's not use a boat because we're right here by the water. But we will continue west here towards those far lands in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. And we will do so thusly. Thusly and lively. Lively indeed. Live in front of your FLoB Bus Friday audience. Ooh, skeleton residue. Yoink! FLoB Bus Friday audience on Twitch, because as you remember, we did reach our $30,000 goal before the end of March. And for that, this little yet to become a tradition of recording the episode for Saturday live on Friday is going to continue. And we've done all right. We spent a little bit of time on the patron server, making a road to get to the Upside Angle house. Don't ask. Well, maybe ask. I have episodes. I do have the archives of those live streams going up on YouTube soon, this month soon, and we'll enjoy those. And until then, you'll just have to wonder what the heck an Upside Angle house is. But yeah, regardless of that, we are continuing to walk to the far lands, and as I mentioned, we did raise that $30,000. We're actually up to $31,000, $198, and $12. I said one too many dollars there. It's like when you start writing a check. Who writes checks anymore? But when you start writing a check and you accidentally put too many words in, or you put the and too soon, 121 cents and whatever. But I digress. $31,198.12, 51% of the way to our $60,000 goal this year. Or this season, excuse me. Who knows? I hope it ends by the end of this year, but we will see, won't we, Wolfie? Indeed. FarlandsOrBust.com is where you want to donate. And when you donate, you can ask a question. FLoB Bus Fridays are a special situation in that whoever donates on the Friday before I record gets their question booted to the top of the list, and hopefully gets it answered live if they're watching, which is, I guess, a little bit of a perk there. So if you have asked a question in a donation, it's already on the list, but it might have just been shifted down for this episode. So we'll have to be patient with that. And actually, I'll just jump right into those things since we have quite a few. Do I need some wool? I could use some wool. Yoink! Since I used some to put up the 5-year premature F3 presage, which actually, yeah, let's get to there's a question specifically about that here that I can answer. Yoink and yoink. From Enyon. Enyon got their question in right at the end of the cutoff here for FLoB Bus Friday. When will the new Guinness World Records Gamers Edition come out? We need to hold the Flobathon before they release that number. True indeed. And, of course, being a print publication, they don't, I couldn't tell them. It's coming out it comes out every year. It's a yearly thing in September, to the best of my knowledge. Is when the Gamers Edition of the Guinness World Records comes out. So now is when they needed the update for the number to be published in that, because I worked at a publisher. I was an unpaid intern at a publisher for a little bit, and yeah, they're not. It's not like the internet where you can just change something. So yeah, they have a lot of editing and reviews and layout stuff, and so they need all the stuff locked in a whole 6 months ahead of time. Get it out to the presses and out to the store shelves or whatever. So yeah, they needed the number now. As much as I would have liked to wait till an official F3 number to give them, they needed the number now, and that's what they'll have. and it will be out of date by the time it hits store shelves, obviously. But previously I'd given them the number for last year's. The number I gave them was the one at the floating point crossover when we went from 1 pixel off to the 2 pixels off that we are now. I gave them that number because it's a significant number, and then I gave them the 5-year number because that was a significant number, walking for 5 years. It's a little bit of a delayed gratification on that. But will we have to hold the FLoBathon beforehand? I certainly hope we can. I mentioned last year we started this season 6, in August. It'd be nice to keep these seasons on a yearly basis. So if we can raise that extra 49%, that extra $29,000 or whatever, before September would obviously be ideal. Before August would be ideal as well. So we can do this on a yearly basis. So keep doing that at farlandsofus.com. I mean, obviously, when that book gets published, you might get an update as to the F3 number. But if we're still walking 3 days a week, then that number will be obsolete, like I said. So it's just as good. Your guess is as good as mine at that point. But yeah, I certainly hope that perhaps with these FLoB Fridays and other such encouragement, Wolfie, there he is. Are you? No, you're doing fine. We can reach those goals ahead of time, and get on with it. Get on with it. Jinglestog asks, out of the 3 old Top Gear presenters, who did you like the most? Jeremy, James, or Richard? Did you have a favorite trip or episode they did? It has been so long since I watched Top Gear. I went on like a binge. I never watched it on television because I never had BBC America or anything. Despite having cable, it's never included in any of the packages I've ever had. So yeah, when was it on Netflix for a while is when I just like watched through the entire situation. I think there was some stuff going on that gave me a lot of time in front of the television. So yeah, I went through that really quick, and I forget who they. Oh, obviously I know who Jeremy is, but James is who's James? Which one's James? Richard Hammond? Isn't he the younger guy? Yeah, I think so. I don't know if I had a favorite. I think they all had their own characters to play, their own personalities, I suppose, that they all kind of filled. So I couldn't say one on their own was better than the others. I know who Vintage Beef would say, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I had a favorite. What was your favorite trip or episode they did? Again, I'm trying to remember. Like I said, I binge watched those like 3 years ago, all at once, and I can't remember. They all mooshed together pretty easily. Yeah, I don't know. This is one of those questions I probably should have thought about beforehand. Whoops. I kind of liked those ones where they had to like go to a place and with $5,000 buy this type of car. So they always obviously ended up with a car of questionable. Look at this little island out here in the middle of nowhere. What? It's below sea level. And there's Wolfie. All right. What kind of a world is this that you're living in? A little island that's below sea level? Oh man, you guys aren't going to do so hot when global warming. Well, you will be hot because you'll be underwater. Yeah, there's all those ones, as opposed to when they're just given like super duper brand new supercars or whatever to drive around, like the ones where they have the old cars that end up breaking down and they'd end up bumping into each other on purpose and stuff. There's the one where they went. I don't know. I honestly can't say. I'm only remembering the most recent ones, like when they went through Africa, I think, was one. But that's just because that's like kind of that was part of the last season, wasn't it? But anyway, thank you very much for that question and donation, Jinglestog. Didn't really answer it. That's a risk you'll have to take when asking a question through Child's Play Charities donations at farlandsandbus.com. The fact that I will not answer it at all to any manner of your liking. Oh, man. All right, let's find a place for an elevated hidey hole. And why not right here? We'll go to sleep. And continue. Woof, yeah, I know. In the morning. And awakeness. And awakeness indeed. Ba to you too, sheeps. Ba to you too. Horsey asks, or says, my question to you, good sir. Have you had... there was a little bit of a paragraph where they mentioned how they had a dream where suddenly they realized they were nude, naked, without clothing. They were not decent. So they wanted to ask, have you ever had similar dreams of sudden nudity? And did you find them humiliating? In real life, have you ever been partially or fully nude in public, either by accident or design? I didn't read the second part of this question, so that caught me off guard. I just thought it was a question about the dreams. Oh, well done, Horsey. That's the way to get a funny question. It is you kind of hide it with a normal question. Oh man. So let's see here. I think that's a very common dream to have, isn't it? I'm sure there are. I've seen psychological studies on the naked dream, just like the dreams where your teeth fall out, or where you're in school and you haven't studied for a test, despite being a decade out of any sorts of school. So yeah, I've certainly had those. They do tend to deal with school, though, as well, the naked ones. Or even just being in, like, underwear. Even if it's not, like, fully naked, you end up being in, like, underwear. And all the pants you try to put on just, like, don't exist. Like, oh, here's some pants. I will put on some pants, because I am obviously without pants. You go to put them on, and then they, like, vanish, or they just, like, wait a minute, I thought I was just putting on pants. The brain is a tricky little machine now, isn't it? But, yeah, woof. Those I've had. I have a lot, and this is a weird one. I don't know what this means. Please don't look into what this means. I always have public bathroom dreams, nightmares. Not like always, but it is of frequency as the naked dreams or the teeth falling out dreams or whatever in class and not studied dreams, where you go to a public restroom. And maybe this is uniquely American, because we have a lot of... Whenever I see or hear of, like, people coming from Europe or elsewhere to America, everybody's like, your public bathroom stalls leave no privacy at all. There's big gaps, and the doors don't lock all the way or whatever. I always have dreams about, like, going to a public restroom and, like, the walls are too short. Like, they're, like, at waist level. And it's like, wait, the walls to the stall. The walls to the stalls! So I always have those weird dreams, and then you're like, you can't do your business whenever everybody else is around and able to see such things as these. So yeah, that's a common one. So yeah, I think those are all. Everybody has those common dreams, I believe. But I just missed. As part of your Farlands Bus Fridays on Twitch, we have sometimes some things like a raid. We got raided by False Symmetry. Thank you very much, False, for the raid. This is Farlands Bus. We're recording it for YouTube, and now you get a plug on YouTube as well. But yeah. Thank you, and there we go. She has, or somebody else has the. I thought that was the same color. A dream about the public restroom. It must be a. some sort of phobia or like I already am like in real life a bit awkward about public restrooms. Like if I can avoid using them, then I will. But maybe that's where that comes from. But anyway, the second part of that question that caught me off guard is, have you ever been partially or fully nude in public, either by accident or design? No, I can't quite say that I have. I'm trying to think of it, and I can't. And floating tree, what the heck you doing? Speaking of toilets, floating toilet brush, you are so magical. Ooh, where's my compass? Okay, I'm going the right way. So, yeah, I don't think that's ever been the case. Specifically, like, not at all in my adult life, definitely, and certainly not in a life that I can remember. That. You know, like, I'm sure as a little baby or whatever, you always end up somehow, whatever the situation, getting changed or whatever in public or whatever. But I don't think, no, I'm afraid that's not been the case. I'm afraid. But good job with that question, catching me off guard question. We got a question and donation here from Biadora. Have you noticed some YouTubers get free codes for games as they become more popular? Do you receive free codes, promotional codes? What are your views on the subject, good, bad, for game makers versus viewers versus YouTubers? I don't think free game... Oh God, it's happening. It's all happening at once. Are we all right? I think we're all right. Why does it do? See, this is into the second day, past noon. Why do you do this, Minecraft? The random freezes. But anyway, the free game, I mean, that's not a bad thing, I don't think. I have gotten free games off the top of my head. Eidolon they gave to me because they saw that I'd played Proteus, and they directly reached out to me to give me a free copy of Eidolon, and that turned out all right for everybody, I think. A couple of the F1 games, as well as Grid Autosport, maybe, was given to myself and Beef, because at the time, Codemaster's community manager was really reaching out to YouTubers. He has since moved on, so like the latest F1 2014 I think I had to buy, as well as Dirt Rally or whatever. So yeah, I mean, that happens, and I think it's good. It obviously, I mean, it's an acknowledgement, you know, as opposed to being chased out of town, like by Nintendo or something, saying you can't do Let's Plays, you can't blah blah blah. This is our copyright or whatever. These are, you know, game publishers, indie developers, whoever they may be, who recognize both, obviously, getting the marketing aspect and eyes on your game, but also, you know, I hear a lot of developers saying watching Let's Plays is an easy way to kind of do quality testing on your game, because there's a person right there who's playing your game, and the footage is right there, so you can see what they think of it, the playing, and also bugs or anything that pop up. So I think it's a positive thing. Certainly, bigger channels get more than smaller channels. We get a lot of spam. Well, not spam. I mean, I guess I haven't actively signed up to any PR lists, but we get a lot of PR stuff. What's kind of annoying is the ones that just spam, message, new game. The vast majority of them are mobile games, which I don't play. They don't include like a free copy. I'm not saying you should include a free copy, but like they keep, oh, you should play this game. I'm like, okay, if I am interested in it, I just got to go out and buy it, I guess. I mean, at that point, it just seems like advertising to us, which is a little bit redundant, and a little bit annoying. I mean, so yeah, we get free codes and things like that. Of course, a whole another aspect of that is the like free stuff, free hardware, sponsorships, and whatever, which I've not gotten into at all. There are probably companies that I would do that for if they're already companies that I support or purchase things from or like, but I wouldn't, and I don't want to like get a random company. Well, here's a bunch of free stuff and maybe some money along with it to only use our stuff and show it on stream or on video or say these words or put our logo in your videos or whatever. I don't want to get into that, which is what, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing. A lot of YouTubers do that. A lot of big YouTubers do that because it's actually a lot more lucrative than depending on ad revenue, and it's a way that they can continue doing what they're doing. So, I mean, that's an entirely different thing than just getting like game codes. I feel like game codes are of smaller, you know. It's almost like giving, obviously, games journalists and reviewers get those for free too. They get review copies, so it's similar. Even though I do distinctly draw a line between what I do, a Let's Player or gameplay YouTube whatever maker, and like a reviewer. I by no means would consider myself a journalist or a reviewer of any kind. Early on, I kind of tried to do that because I thought that was the best way to legitimatize the Let's Play and what I'm doing. But I have since changed my tune. Speaking of tunes, what? This has nothing to do with tunes at all. Tiny Toons? Looney Tunes? Let's make an elevated hidey hole here. A little bit of a dangerous one on the edge of this mountain. And we will continue in the morning. And awakeness. And a continuing onness. Yeah, I just saw in the Twitch chat that somebody mentioned Corsair. That I always mention Corsair, and I knew that was going to happen. Careful, Wolfie. And just based on the fact that I buy a lot of, or use a lot of Corsair stuff, somebody else did. And yeah, that was actually, I guess I could admit, Corsair has like a sponsorship application on their website. It's mostly geared towards like MLG no scopers. No, like your competitive tournament gaming teams and stuff like that. But I decided to fill it out and try before I started building this computer. I'm like, hey, I already use your guys' stuff. I'm probably gonna buy your guys' stuff anyway. But I mean, if you want to help a Farlander out, and I'll put your logo on things and stuff like that. But I never heard back. apparently a Guinness World Record holder doesn't qualify for Corsair sponsorship. That doesn't change my tune about them. I still bought all their stuff. I still use their keyboard and mouse or whatever. So, well. But similarly, Tesla recently announced their Model 3. I would take a sponsorship from them if they don't mind. I don't know. Just throwing that out there. I could forego the fun car, the classic car leanings of the near future if they wanted to just drop one of those off, and I could start doing driving vlogs in those. Oh man. Sellout. No. But yeah, let's continue on here. We got a couple more questions. What do we got? Crumbelina asks, when traveling, like on road trips, do you prefer getting straight to where you're going or stopping to look at lots of interesting places along the way? Probably a multitude of things like that. I would tend to plan a vacation. Like if I'm going to a state or whatever, I'll find a route to the multiple things and then plan it out. Like, okay, stay one night here and then gonna drive over here and then stay a couple nights there because this is all cool around here, and then drive around here. So do like a loop and then make it back to the airport you came in on. So that sort of stuff, yeah. A lot of times there might not be things in between the places you're visiting, so it is just a long straight drive or whatever. But I haven't been on any long road trips, like multi-state or cross country or anything like that to really say. I do find it nice to take breaks from driving. I don't mind driving so much, but I do find it useful to take breaks from driving. Like I did drive to San Diego last month, a couple months ago. There's nothing between Phoenix and San Diego. Nothing at all. Except the halfway point is Yuma, Arizona, right there on the border. So stop there, have some lunch, refuel before you get into California with all the high gas taxes and whatever. And then continue on that way. But yeah, I mean, I guess one example is when I did go to Oregon, drove down the coast, and it's really convenient there that on the drive along the coast there are a bunch of these free open state park beaches to just well, I've been driving for about an hour. Okay, here's the state park. Oh yeah, let's stop here and do some hiking or go out to the beach and walk up and down the beach or whatever. So you know, like that's nice, being able to do that, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, I guess it just all depends on the place. If there are places to stop, if there is anything of interest or whatever that's there to see. I don't mind the long drive. I don't mind the driving vacation or whatever. Thank you for that donation and question, Crumbelina. Pallet Hands, the leading question man, he goes by, that's his title, asks a leading question here. Can't you do anything right? Or are you a lefty? Ah, jokes. Alright, whoa, Wolfie. I'm a righty, so I guess I do everything right. Ha! Doo-doo. Ah, Wolfie. Woof. Boop. Yeah, I don't think that was an actual question. He was just making a joke. Bang X Your X Dead. Bang X Your X Dead asks, what is your favorite type of amusement park ride? I haven't been to an amusement park in many a year, perhaps decade or so. When I was a kid, I used to kind of avoid the roller coasters, and I only went on the ones that didn't go upside down, or the wooden roller coasters or whatever. But then there was the one time where I went in middle school with a bunch of friends for a friend's birthday, and they were all like, yeah, we're going to do all the coasters, all the upside down ones. And I had internal panic attacks all throughout the night beforehand. And but then the first thing we did when we got there was go on the biggest upside down roller coaster at Six Flags, and I was hooked. And then we did do all the roller coasters in the park, and it was good. So probably roller coasters. I don't like the vomity up and down, you know, the octopus or whatever it's called, or what are the other ones where you just sit in a seat and get spun around and up and down and up and down. Those will make me very quickly need to call Ralph on the big white phone, if you know what I'm saying. If you know what I'm saying, indeed. But yeah, I have not. I don't know. Remember the last time I was on a roller coaster? To be honest with you, might have been pre-college, pre-20s even, maybe. I don't know. That's a tough one to say. I've not been to any of the Disneys or anything like that. To have, I mean, those aren't really like big roller coaster parks anyway. But yeah, no, I haven't. I have not been in quite a while to even say what my favorites are or whatever. LabTech901 has a question. Watch out for this cactus, Wolfie. We walked right into it. LabTech901. If you were given a random room, I'm sorry, wait, let me start over. I've said this all wrong. If you were given a room added to your house and were given $100,000 to fill it, what would you make? Personally, I would build a machine shop and fabricate all sorts of stuff. Wow. Well, if I was given $100,000 to fill it, I could... Well, no, I guess I couldn't buy a house. Real estate markets. Yeah, it would be a cross between like a totally awesome studio, computer, gaming, crazy office room setup. Ow! Complete with many computers and one of those big racing seat situations with the monitors and like a little corner for VR stuff with Oculus and stuff, and that would be pretty crazy. It'd be probably that or maybe like a garage or something. Is that a room? Can that be considered a room, or is that more of an exterior situation? It would probably be a garage with all sorts of mechanical implements and tools and lifts and things, and then cars to fill it and to work on it. So it would be either or would be all right. I'm pretty sure I could do fine getting both and then only putting 50 grand into each. I think would be more than enough. Would be more than enough for that. But yeah, I could just, why not both? Have both a combo garage / studio office / recording gaming area. just set up the gaming wheel inside of an actual car and then have screens wrap around the exterior. And then when you're done, you can actually just drive it away. Jokes. So yeah, that was a unique question. I didn't mean weird, sorry, but that was not one we've gotten before, I don't think. So yeah, thank you very much, LabTech901, and everybody else who donated on this Friday. We got through them all. Who donated on this Far Lands of Bus Friday here for Twitch. Let's jump out of the boat a little bit too soon there. How am I going to do this? Let's get over this hill, hopefully, if these chickens will let me. Alright, this is going to be a little bit more of a... Uh-oh. The lightness, it falls. The lightness becomes darkness. Keep going to farlandsofbus.com to donate to Child's Play charity. You can leave a question, obviously. And we're obviously now... Now we have a timer on when to get that F3 number. I'm sorry, the F3 number with the FLoBathon when we reach $60,000. Got to do it before September, or else everybody's going to be spoilt with the F3 number that we gave back on episode 577, 578? 578. I think it was 578. And I'm a little bit, I was kind of worried about pressing F3 too soon. I didn't know how stingy everybody was about that, but it seems like everybody was cool with that. I framed it in the theme of clickbait with the title I gave it. Kurt presses F3 prematurely. Oh, what's he gonna do? And then I didn't tell you guys at all what number I'd found out. So, and I honestly don't even remember it off the top of my head. Not like I remember 2266779. I had to go look at my notepad to see what that was. So yeah, thank you everybody for supporting that, and for supporting this, and for supporting Child's Play charity at farlandsofbus.com. Let's make some beds here for the next episode. And see, I told you, even though I am recording this on April 1st, I, like others, am an April Fool's curmudgeon, and had nothing planned, nothing up my sleeve. This is your standard Far Lands or Bust episode. I have in the past, because the actual episode coincided with being released on April 1st. Little silly things. But this one's being released on April 2nd, so... Oh well. Oh well. Yeah, I think we're done here. Let's get our workbench back. Remind you again, farlandsorbus.com, and remind you again that Far Lands of Bus Fridays continues into April and onwards. So every Friday at twitch.tv/KurtJMac, we will be recording an episode of Far Lands of Bus just like this. And so you can get a little bit of a day early sneak peek and a live view of how I search for words to say at the end of an episode like I'm doing right now. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for your support. My name is Kurt. I will see you next time. Sellout